Hello, everybody. Welcome. Welcome. I'm so excited to be with you guys today. I have got a fantastic card to share with you. I shared it with you last week on my YouTube Live, and the comments I got regarding these cards was off the charts. So I've got a really fantastic explosion card. You guys know me. I always like to make it as easy as possible. I've got a wonderful diagram for you that you're going to love because it includes a diagram. I already gave away the whole thing. I gave you a diagram. My download has a free diagram. Okay, I'm just going to have to ask you all to bear with me today. I live in Oklahoma and we had massive storms, tornadoes, hail. We had it all last night. So wasn't as much sleep as I would have liked. Everyone is safe, everyone is good. That's just what we deal with spring in Oklahoma. So if I get a little tongue tied or I say words like diagrams or download, you're going to know why. Okay, well, I am going to head over to my stamping table so I can show you what an explosion card is. I think you're going to really like this. And if you want to join me as I create, the one thing I'd like you to at least have, I'm going to make the whole card for you, but I don't want you to try to make that along with me, just the explosion part. Okay. You're going to need a piece of 6x6 copy paper, junk mail, or maybe a piece of designer series paper that's not your favorite. You know, I always like to say practice with something else first. So, all right, let me head over to my table so I can show you what we're going to create. You're going to love this. All right, this is what I'm calling an explosion card. I've got two cards to share, one for the girls and one for the guys. So let me show you this one first, sending sunshine and good feelings your way. And when you open it, we get this great explosion pop out. I can write my messages here. I can also stamp something here as well. Right now, I'm leaving it alone because the front sentiment kind of can go for so many different things. So I wasn't sure what I wanted to say, who I'm going to send this card to. So I thought I'd keep it that way first, but that's the explosion I'm going to show you how to make. Let me go ahead and show you the masculine card because I really love how this one. I'm just so happy for you. You know, we want to celebrate the men too. Oh, yes. And I'm going to teach you how I did this little fun square idea there on the inside. Okay. All right. So I did tell you we have a download with a diagram because Connie's going to try to use her words today. So you're going to find this download at simplysimplestamping.com, or you can look down at the YouTube description. You'll find a link that'll take you right to this download. So no worries about writing down measurements. It's all here for you. And uh, I've got Brenda on there with me live. If you're live in the chat, she's there in the chat room and she's going to send you that link as well so that you guys can download that. And I tell you what, I think we are all ready to go ahead and get started. First things first, can I just go over the supplies you need for this project? So I want to make sure we get all of that covered. So first, I'm using Mango Melody today. Of course, you're going to use your favorite color. I've got a standard A2 card base, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4.25. So just a basic card base. I've got three more pieces here of Mango Melody. This is my front focal image. So depending on the stamp that you use, that might vary. But mine is a 3 by 3.25. And then these are the two pieces for the inside. And this really won't vary all that much. This is going to be a 2.75 by 2.75 square. You could make it a little smaller if you wanted to, but for this card, 2.75 by 2.75. That's all my Mango Melody. Let's talk about our basic white. So I've got a layering piece that I'm using on this one. I just thought that white behind it really kind of popped. It kind of made all those great colors pop. So I'm going to use a layer here. This is 4 by 5.25. And then I have two pieces of basic white, 2.5 by 2.5. And yes, you guessed it, those are going to go right there. That's for the inside. Last thing we're going to need is some designer series paper. I'm going to use a brand new designer series paper, just came on the market. This is the T Boutique designer series paper. It comes 6 by 6. And I just love this pattern. Of course, I love this one on the other side. If you guys are like me, we just struggle with which side to use. I loved this color. And I love just bringing out that little pop of the Mango Melody in there. So this is a piece of 6x6. That's for my explosion card. But then for the front of my card, you can see I wanted to add a layer there as well. So I'm going to use a second piece of designer series paper, 3 3/4 by 5. My friends, that is all we need. So I'll tell you what, let's go ahead. We're going to start with our explosion. So let me bring in my diagram so that you guys can kind of follow along with what I'm going to do. And I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer as well. It's always fun trying to see if I can get all of this in my camera. Okay. So you can just fold your designer series paper, but I'm just a huge fan of scoring. So I'm going to take my cutting blade, move that out of the way. And yes, I did this the other day and I cut instead of scored. I know I'm not the only one who's done that. Guys, we're simply going to score at 3 inches and rotate it around and score at 3 inches. So basically, we are scoring this in half. So there's 3. I'm going to rotate this around, score it again at 3. That was pretty easy, right? No need for a diagram on that one. Now we're going to score from corner to corner. But guys, you're only doing it once. You don't do it on both sides, just on one. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this in because I want to make sure you can see what I'm doing. So I want the point, oh, you can't hardly see it. I want a point of my designer series paper to be lining up in that track. And I want the same thing up here. So when you get that, both of those corners are set perfectly, then we can give one more score. Okay, now I said you didn't have to use your paper trimmer. You do not. But if you didn't want to, and actually watch this, guys, we're going to actually score this kind of inside out. So you're going to score. This is where I said, if you didn't want to, ooh, look, I got off a little bit. So let's center that up, Connie. See, that happens. But it's an easy fix because we do want that to be perfectly folded in half. So I'm just going to slide that. Looks like I missed by a little bit. There we go. Okay, so there is our first 2 scores. Now for this triangle one, this is why I said, if you just wanted to score or just fold from corner to corner, you can do that too. I don't know. Is anyone else like me? You guys love making sure your score lines are all really nice and you like to use scoring tools and bone folders. Yes, I see that you guys do. Oh, Lori said your jewelry's so pretty. That is so nice. Okay, now I'm going to show you the trick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these corner pieces. These are not corner pieces, the triangle pieces. Hopefully you guys can see that. We're going to bring in those triangle pieces together and give that a press down. Now it's already been creased down, so that's easy to do. So all you have to do is just grab that score line, bring it together, bring it down. It's all going to fold perfectly. All right. It really is that simple. Okay. I'm going to move this diagram because we're done with that. And now we're going to go ahead and put this inside our card. So I got some tips and tricks. So I'm going to bring in my original so you can see, because there are options of where you put this inside your card. Now, one nice thing is this becomes its own little piece of art when it stands up. You know, we like when people can showcase our cards. So the way this sits, let me move that one out of the way so you can see. This one, you can see it's just almost wanting to touch my table. So if you want to put it center, you can put this center, but this is just going to sit up a little bit more. I hope that makes sense. And I'm not sure if it does, but we're going to go with it. So if I put this in the center of my card, can you see this is hanging off on both sides? And that means that's going to have to touch that table more. But if you want it to not touch the table, you can just bring it up to those points right here. Can you see that? Hopefully you can. You just don't want to go past that. So it's going to be the square, not the triangles. The triangles are going to go up and down, but the flat squares are what we're going to adhere down. Okay? Hopefully everybody is with me. Okay. Judy says she loves how fun this fold is. I love that. I'm going to be using my stamp and seal. And guys, if you want to use your multi-purpose glue, you can do that. Whatever adhesive is your favorite. I'm going to start with just putting adhesive on one side for right now. So as I said, this is where you're going to decide where you want that to go in your card. I think I'm going to just line it up so that I've got my corner there, my corner there, and my corner there. But remember, we want to make sure that we're only putting adhesive on that flat side. So I'm just going to line that up, get that all nice and centered. I'm gently going to press that down, just enough to hold it. So if I need to move it, I can. Okay, we're going to put adhesive on this other side, and we're just going to close up the card. Okay, again, I'm just going to close it. I'm going to give it a quick test. Test this way. Everything is good. Now we'll give it its belly love. That's what I say to the dog. So I guess that's why we're going to give it some belly love. There we go. That's how we put the explosion card together. You know what, real quick, and this I'm going to do so I can read some of your comments. I'm going to go ahead and just add these pieces. Remember, I'm not stamping on mine yet. I'm not stamping because I don't know what I want to say in this card yet. So let's see what you guys are talking about. Oh, let's see. Judy, Brenda is saying to Judy that she will write on her hand FBI flea bug insurance. Okay, I don't know what you guys are chatting about over there, but I'm going to have to go back and check that one out. Yeah, here in Oklahoma, we get the fleas, and it wasn't a harsh enough winter, I don't think, to get rid of them. Okay, well, I'm going to, oh, adhesive just wants to be stubborn today. It's probably the humidity here with all that rain. Okay. Karen says you guys have tornado watches too. It was an insane night. In fact, one of our little towns here, this blew my mind. We have to stay weather aware because with tornadoes, you just never know where they're going to show up. So you got to be paying attention. It doesn't mean it's ever going to hit or it's ever going to touch down, but it does mean, as we like to say, we got to be weather aware. We got to pay attention to what's going on. And this tornado that hit the town of Seminole, not horrible, but it hit, you know, any damage is bad damage. Okay, you can see I've just added those to the inside of my card. That's where this can go. Now I'll finish my tornado story while I add a couple pieces to the front of my card. This tornado did the weirdest thing I have ever seen, and that is it hit and it spun around and it came back and tried to hit the town again. I could not believe it. Those poor people just could not catch a break. I don't think the second one, that when it turned around, I don't think it hit. I think it stayed up in the air. Thank heavens for that. Those poor people were dealing with enough. Then, of course, they have to keep all the looky-loos from showing up because, you know, everybody wants to go look. Oh, let's see what the tornado did. And then that caused first responders to have a hard time getting there. Okay, that is your tornado lesson for today. All right, that is my other remaining piece of designer series paper. We're going to add that right here to the front of my card. Yes, when you come to Simply Simple Stamping for Alive, you get tornado lessons. Okay, now we're going to decorate the front of our card. So now it's time to do that stamping. All right, I'm going to use the stamp set Good Feelings. This is one of the brand new ones, and let me tell you, it has become my favorite. I'm using it all the time. I love great big sentiments. Okay, I love the pow and the wow that it gives a card, and it kind of fills up some of that space. So we're going to use the Sending Sunshine and Good Feelings Your Way. And we're going to do a little embossing today, everybody. So I'm going to bring in some grid paper so I have something underneath me and my stamp. How many of you do heat embossing? Do you guys do heat embossing? I think it's absolutely magical. It's one of my favorite things. But if I don't know if you guys are like me, but sometimes I just forget to do heat embossing. It's kind of an out of sight, out of mind. So I'm going to try to start incorporating it more because it's such a wow. So if you didn't see, I inked up my stamp in Versamark. This is a nice clear uh, ink. It also gives a watermark, and let me show you the watermark. Can you see how it says sending sunshine your way? Now for that, of course, you might want to, like, if we wanted the background to be flowers and we just wanted that subtle, that's what you could use that for. For a sentiment, I can't quite see that. So I'm going to bring in some white embossing powder, and I'm going to sprinkle this on. Brenda is going to recognize my little spoon. She was here last week and we drank an awful lot of chai tea. And this is the spoon that comes in the chai tea. And I had an extra one. So nice to have that. All right. We are going to tap off the excess. That looks great. Okay. I'm going to get this closed up because let me tell you, when you're working with embossing powder, and you turn that heat gun on, you don't want this anywhere near. So look what I'm going to do. So I can get to that later. So here is my my ready to heat set, and I'm going to try to do this. And I apologize for the noise, but guys, if you have not seen this magic, in fact, I'm going to put this down here and let it heat up for just a minute. It's just an unbelievable look to see and watch embossing powder melt. It's magical. Lori says she's never done it. Oh, my friend, you have got to try this. Theta says, I love to heat emboss. Oh, yeah. It's fantastic. I just think sometimes we just forget. Judy says she loves the powder tray. That is an old tool. Oh, goodness. I hope you guys can hear me over this. It's an old tool that Stampin' Up! Used to carry a long time ago, and I still use it today. Just a fabulous little tray, so I can sprinkle it in there, and then it allows me to just pour it back in. Can you see the magic? Oh my gosh, isn't it? See how nice? See how it's real dull? I'm going to focus on the word your. And see, ooh, we're just melting that powder. And now, boy, you have no problem seeing that sentiment, right? It's gorgeous. All right, I'll tell you what, because I don't want you guys to have to sit there and watch me do that. I can finish that later. So it's fine that I didn't finish it. I can get to that later. But through the magic of television, I have one that's done for you. So yeah, you can see how that white on that mango just pops. I hope I have got you guys excited about pulling out your heat tool and your embossing powder. By the way, we have a pack of embossing powder. You saw that little jar. It lasts forever. It might be small, but don't worry, it lasts a long time. This one comes as a pack, so you get several colors. It's awesome. All right, there, I just used Stampin' Dimensionals to give that a nice little pop on there. There's the inside of my card. It's just fantastic. I love it, and I hope you guys do too. Okay, now I want to share with you some tips on the other cards. So let me bring that card back in because I've just got some things on this card I just have to show you. First things first, can you see that my glasses are shiny? Okay, I'm going to show you first how I did that, and then we'll talk about the inside of the card. So I've just got a scrap of some basic white here for the glasses. By the way, this is from the Brood for You stamp set. So what a great stamp set for the guys. So I'm going to create a really fun beer mug. I created one kind of like this for my daughter's boyfriend. It was his birthday. And so I created this fun card for him, and he loved it. And he was like, how did you make that shiny? So here's what we're going to do. All right, so I'm going to stamp this on this piece of cardstock in Smoky Slate. So I'll stamp that right there. By the way, you see I have the foam and the glass on one block. Just makes it a little bit quicker and easier. Now, I found that Crushed Curry is the perfect shade of yellow for my beer. So we're going to ink up. This is now the inside of the card. And we'll stamp that right there. Isn't that so cool? You know, I also got to thinking about this. You could stamp this, and like I could have stamped this and made one of these like half full by only inking up the bottom part. I thought that would have been cute. Okay, so we have that. And I know many of you already know my trick, don't you? Packing tape. That's right. My favorite tool in my stamp room right now. So, whoops, I pulled a little too much. We're going to take this packing tape and put it right across those. And now I can come in with the matching dies. And when I die cut that, I'm going to have a shiny glass. Same with my foam. And that, of course, I left white. And that foam will be shiny too. And there's a die to die cut that. Love, love, love. And I love this set. It is just, well, we love this stuff for the guys, don't we? Okay, I'm going to move some stuff out of my way. So that's how we did those shiny glasses. This one I adhered down. This one I used Stampin' Dimensionals. Now, I decided to go ahead and use that Good Feeling stamp set one more time. And I said, I'm just so happy for you. And I did that in a brand new color called Starry Sky. Just, I thought it looked so pretty. And these colors, Mary Merlot, fabulous card for the guys. There's some crushed curry behind it. That was a 4 by 5 1/4. By the way, all these measurements are on the diagram, and they are also available on the website at Simply Simple Stamping. So there's that. And then on the inside, there's that brand new Starry Sky color, and that's the designer series paper for the in colors. How about I just go over that cutting, or not the cutting, I'm sorry, the folding one more time. So remember, we fold it in half. We want the outside showing. So remember, we fold it in half this way, fold it in half this way, and then we take that middle, the triangle piece, and we fold it that way, but just the one time. We don't do it twice. And there's my 2 triangles, right? Bring those triangles together and bring it down. And it's ready to go. So what I wanted to show you with this card is, let's go ahead, how about we adhere this in a little bit different way, just because. So I'm going to put my adhesive here. Oh my goodness. One of these days, Connie is going to learn to hold this thing upright. Okay, remember, we only do one at a time. So how about on this one, I'll go ahead and center this. Remember, we were talking about you have options of where you want it to go. So I thought I'd go ahead and show you. You just want to make sure you're lined up right there, but I'm not pressing anything down too hard yet. So I can move it around if I need to. And let's get one more little piece here. And we'll fold down. I'm going to give it a quick test. That's good. I like the way it stands. When you're happy, give it a belly rub, and that's ready to go. Okay, so what I wanted to show you is how I did these pieces. Now I'm going to kind of try to zoom in. I hope, here, let me just actually zoom. Can you see? That didn't work. Can you see the embossing that I did? I did a little dry embossing on that one. So I'm going to show you what I did. I have got 2 pieces of crushed curry, and these are 2.5 by 2.5. Now you're actually going to need 4 because 2 of them are going to go here, 2 of them are going to go here, but these are the ones we're going to cut. So I'm going to go ahead and bring my paper trimmer back in so I can show you how we're going to fix that and make that look awesome. You do want to do your cutting before you emboss it. It's kind of hard to cut on embossed cardstock. The blade can jump on it. You just don't want that. So just like we did before when we were scoring and we put the corners into that track, you want to do that again, only this time we're going to cut. So we're going to make those 2 triangles. And so we'll do this next one and just line those up. Don't let it slide around, and there we go. So those are done. Let me show you the embossing folder I used. It's actually a 2-pack, so I thought I'd go ahead and show them both to you. This is called Stripes and Splatters. I love the splatters. They're so fun. So it's just going to give a nice little, well, a splatter look. And then the stripes here are really rough. I think this is a fantastic embossing set for the guys. Oh my goodness. We always struggle with stuff for the guys, and you know what? You don't have to. This little set of embossing folders can give you exactly the look that you want. I'm going to lay these right inside. You see, I can put both of them in there. And they don't have to be straight or, anything. Just don't let them overlap. You're going to put it in here. By the way, you notice I'm using my mini machine because I can. These dies are meant for the mini machine. So I'm going to grab my machine behind me and make sure nothing shifted, and it did. We will use cutting plate or base plate 1, my embossing folder, and embossing plate number 3. So 1 and 3. And, oh, come on. I must not have got set in there just right. Oh, come on, little machine. Oh, I'm not right where I should have been. Oh my goodness, how embarrassing. Why are you not wanting to go? Did I do something wrong? Maybe I did. No, I did it right. I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to blame it on the tornado. But I don't know what happened there, guys. But that's what it's going to look like when it's done. So welcome to live. You just never know what you're going to get. Okay, we're going to take these pieces and see where that triangle is. It's going to sit just inside. With those stripes, it's kind of hard to see that I'm getting it centered. So you're going to add those. I'm so excited that I'm making 2 of these because I have the one that's already done. I know exactly who this other card's going to go to. My friend David is going to love this. Okay. It looks like that one's a little off. Now you guys know I don't adhere anything until I'm happy. Yep, just like that. I'll tell you what, I'm not going to go ahead and do it to all of them. Let me just bring in my finished one so that you can see. So there are those triangles. I have the other 2 here so I can stamp my sentiment. I can write my little message. Such a fun card. So, okay. Brenda says I've had this happen with my mini sometimes. I think sometimes when I'm just a little flustered when I'm trying to do a live, it just didn't want to grab just right. So there we go. Such fun explosion cards. I hope you guys like that. Who wants to see what we're going to create next week? Get ready. It's amazing. Slimline cards. Oh my goodness, you guys have been asking for slimline cards and I'm going to deliver. I've got 2 different slimline cards to share with you. And guess what? It's a one sheet wonder project. So I'm going to be sharing these cards with you on Thursday, May 12th. I love this. Okay. Literally 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock created this card. So there's my belly band. And oh, look what it says, sending sunshine and good feelings your way. You guys just saw that, right? I've got some new designer series paper. And look at this. There's the place to write your message. No one will see it because it's going to be hidden. So I can write my message there. And I just used some pretty gorgeous grape and fresh freesia. It was so easy. I'm going to teach you a little coloring technique as well. Let me show you this one. Sending kindness, or thank you for your kindness. And this one, I used the Dahlia Days stamp set. And oh, look, I didn't use designer series paper. I stamped my own designer series paper. Do you love it? So even if you don't have designer series paper, you can still create this fun fold slimline card. You're beyond incredible. My message stays hidden until the recipient opens it. Again, we've got some Calypso coral and some polished pink. Such a nice, pretty card. Slimline cards, Thursday, May 12th. I hope you guys will be there. Oh, thank you guys for the thumbs up so much. I appreciate that. Let me go ahead and get back to my camera so I can see you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Such a fun card. Explosion cards. Piece of 6 by 6. Fold, fold, fold. And you got it. Remember to go download your diagram and all your measurements, print it out or save it to your computer. So when you're ready to make an explosion card, it's going to be very easy for you to do. Thank you again so much for those of you that were joining me live. Thank you guys. If you're on the replay, I love having you here. I hope you enjoyed the card. Would love that thumbs up on YouTube. And I'd also love to have you as a subscriber. So feel free to hit that big subscribe button so that we can share with you again soon. Guys, I will be back with you on Tuesday of next week. Can't wait to stamp with you then. Bye-bye.